Thanks for tuning in to the Drive On podcast, where we are focused on giving hope and strength to the entire military community. Whether you're a veteran, active duty, guard, reserve, or a family member, this podcast will share inspirational stories and resources that are useful to you. I'm your host, Scott DeLucio, and now let's get on with the show. Everybody, welcome back to the Drive On podcast. Today, my guests are Drew Everett and Nick Wyatt. Drew and Nick started Apex Gear Company, which is a marketplace for veteran-owned companies. They're here to talk about the marketplace and veteran-owned businesses and share their story. So welcome to the show, guys. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and your backgrounds? Nick, let's start with you.
Hey, what's going on, Scott? Thanks for having us. Name's Nick Wyatt. Drew and I actually grew up together. So I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Grew up as a cobbler's son. Drew and I grew up around the same neighborhood, terrorizing the same neighbors. So we've known each other for a really long time. And while we're both vets, we didn't actually serve together. So in 2006, I joined the Marine Corps, and I served from 2006 to 2010. Yeah.
Great. And Drew, how about you?
Yeah, I grew up the friend of a cobbler's son. I grew up in North Carolina, around the same neighborhood, terrorizing the same people. And I joined the Army in 2001, and I was stationed in Baumholder, Germany. And I don't even know how we got here, man. Fast forward many moons. But yeah, we grew up in North Carolina, and then after the military service, kind of, went different ways, pursued different paths education-wise, and, lived in different spots. And we circled up a couple of years ago to start something a little bit different than what we're doing today. But
Cool. And any deployments between the two of you that, I know you said, Drew, you were in Germany, but anywhere else overseas? Or
yeah, just a duty station. No, never deployed.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
cool.
and so I did two different deployments. My first one was a Marine Expeditionary unit. For those that aren't in the Marines, that is where we hop onto a Navy ship and float around in an aircraft carrier, hopping from port to port, pretending like we're cool. I get to tell people that we did anti-piracy missions off the coast of Somalia, which sounds a lot cooler to a civilian than it actually is. We weren't actually fighting, swashbuckling buccaneers over in the Red Sea. We were on an aircraft carrier, and the average pirate boat is something that can fit maybe two people on it, and they're, like taking buckets to throw the water out the other side. So it's not really exciting or intriguing, but we were just sitting off the coast of Somalia for a little bit. The one cool thing I did get to do on that deployment was there was a typhoon that hit Bangladesh. And while that wasn't cool, obviously, but we were able to go and provide humanitarian relief we basically just gave out water and stuff. There was some pretty bad devastation, since that country is the lowest lying country in the world. And so, obviously very poor, a lot of destruction there. So that was pretty humbling to be able to do. And then on my second deployment, I deployed to the Helmand and Farah provinces of Afghanistan. And I was infantry. So, we did infantry things, patrols, and, Afghanistan is pretty topical right now. And like a lot of other Afghanistan vets, I've been paying close attention to everything that's been going on. But yeah, I served in 2008, October 2008 to June of 2009, in both the Helmand and the Farah provinces of Afghanistan.
Yeah, and you're right. The topic of Afghanistan is very much in the news. It's very much on everyone's mind these days with how everything took place. And not to get away from the topic that we're talking about here, but for the people who are listening, love to hear your thoughts on what's going on over there. If you're willing to
definitely.
share.
As someone who's never been there, let me tell you how I feel about it.
No, yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of veterans, I've been somewhat frustrated watching how things unfortunately transpired with our pullout. My biggest thing that I've tried to say to a lot of the guys that I was in with, I see a lot of things on social media with people that I was in with, people that served in Afghanistan, people that had served in Iraq that felt a similar pain whenever we pulled out of Iraq, is that I don't want people to come away with the idea that, anything that they did over there wasn't anything but honorable, that it wasn't in vain. We went over there, we served the purpose that we were asked to do, regardless of how it turned out in the last couple of months. And as unfortunate as the tragic events that happened last month with the 13 Marines and sailor, everybody that served over there served honorably. They, should come back with their head held high, and regardless of, win, lose, or draw, at the end of the day, I mean, we all did our part. We all helped keep America safe for a little bit longer. And I think that every single person should feel pride in that. And no matter what happens over there right now, and I hope it gets better, I genuinely do. But no matter what happens over there right now, I think that every single person that served over there should feel nothing but pride, for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Drew, you kind of tongue in cheek, chimed in saying, that you didn't really have anything really to chime in there with, but there are there's other people who are out there who are in a similar situation. They maybe never deployed either, and they may feel like they didn't do anything, that they didn't contribute, or whatever the case may be. But nothing could be further from the truth, because people like yourself, Drew, and everybody else, we did what our country asked us to do, and it was part of a bigger picture. And maybe we did or didn't see what that bigger picture was all about, but we were a piece of that big puzzle. And so for people like yourself, I definitely, hats off to you and Nick and everybody else who served, especially during this time, because it's nothing but a difficult time to serve in, during a wartime. So, definitely hats off, and thank you for both of you for your service and your contributions.
I think the Kiwi Shoe Polish Corporation owes me a big thanks. My whole generation, you're welcome that you're still in business. So.
Yeah, and if you knew before, you probably would have invested in their stock, before enlisting in the military. But anyways, let's go back and let's talk about where you guys came up with the idea for this marketplace that we're talking about before, the Apex Gear company. And it seems like it's a great one-stop shop for a place to go and support veteran-owned businesses. So let's talk about that, where the idea came from, and how you guys got into that. Drew, if you want to,
okay,
you want to chime in, Drew? That's cool.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We were, like I mentioned a couple of years back, Nick and I got started in a different business venture, and he, being the son of a cobbler, his family business was shoe repair, and they had an extension of that, which was foot performance. So people that are dealing with different types of foot pain, whether it's chronic stuff, injury related stuff, whatever, things like plantar fasciitis, bunions, I mean, you name it, heel pain. And so along the way in that business, his dad designed, patented, like an orthotic type shoe insole. It's a shoe insert. Helps people, correct the problem that they're having, right? Get out of foot pain, things like that. Get back to living a healthy life. And he designed this thing. He was a podorthist, and so he's spent 25 years, I think, in study and practice. And they were selling these things. They manufactured them, and they had to manufacture in North Carolina. They're selling them in their brick and mortar business that they had. And he announced when he announced his retirement, a couple of years back, we thought, well, we've always wanted to go into business together. We've always, bounced ideas and talked about Shark Tank episodes and shit like that. And so, we've always just had a knack for, marketing and, angles and things like that. And, it seems like, random and odd, and it is, it's all those things, but, it's the product we had, right? It's what we had. So, and we felt the opportunity. I mean, it had never been branded or put online, anything like that. And we thought, well, maybe we could tell a story about this, right? His dad was in the Navy, made in America. And so let's try it, right? Let's just learn how to build a website. Let's just learn how to, to do social media marketing, sell stuff online, and just see what happens with it, where it goes. And that's what we kicked off a couple of years back. And it really, this this marketplace idea kind of came from solving a challenge we're having in that line of work, which was we had a complementary product we were trying to add to our website, and it was another veteran, and he had something that we could bundle together with what we were doing, and just kind of working through the challenges of adding that other stuff. How do the orders get routed? Who fulfills it? What about customer service? How does the payment flow? All those kind of things were just, really kind of, with the tech stack we had at the time, just kind of, really kind of stumped on how to put all that together. And it's just one of those things that you're thinking about for days and days, and you have this kind of light bulb, right? Whether it's, asleep at night or in the shower or whatever, and you just have this epiphany. And the idea came to me, it wasn't really about how to solve that particular problem that we were having, but it was just kind of this concept of, hey, what if we had all veteran made products on one website, like Amazon, and single checkout, and all the top brands, and all the and there's so many people doing stuff out there. And so we kind of came up with, we thought about it, and the idea started flowing out of Nick really fast about different ways we could do it, and the impact we could have. And the thing that really, I think, resonated with the both of us was elevating veteran brands. What's the mission? Why do we want to do this? Why do we care? Why don't we just solve the problem on the insole website and get back to work? And and that's really what it came down to: elevating veteran brands, giving, by way of giving shoppers a convenient one-stop shop way to discover their favorites. And sorry, what's the tagline? Shop their favorite veteran brands and discover awesome new ones. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's a rising tide raises all boats scenario. And that's what we're finding the response with the people that we've reached out to, big or small. I mean, they're, the enthusiasm is overwhelming. The help, the support, people are opening up their contact list, hey, we're in, when can we get set up? And also, I know this guy and that girl and this company. Have you thought about this? And it's just, it's been a really fun ride so far. But that was the original. That's how we got the idea. We were just trying to solve a different problem in a different space. And we looked around, and this thing hadn't been done before. And we think it could, we think the U.S. consumer will really like this option right now in the market, because it's difficult. I mean, if people say they want to support veterans and shop veteran brands, but how do you know who those are and where do you go to find that? So that's the response has been really, really wild.
Yeah, and I think one of the things from my perspective is just that ease of being able to go out and shop veteran owned companies. And Nick, it seems like this is something that even a grunt can do. So it's not all hope is lost for those veteran entrepreneurs out there who may feel like they're just a dumb grunt who doesn't know what they're doing.
He was an assault man, okay? That no, you don't have to be so reductionist, Scott.
So one thing that Drew's not actually telling you about that was the big reason why we had to move away from trying to solve people's foot problems is we learned early on in our military service that all foot problems, as all problems in life, can be solved with a change of socks. And that was our biggest problem. Right. So we were like, what we did is we started having the communication about having an Amazon for veterans, a one-stop shopping experience with all these slick, cool words. So we changed our socks and we got to work. Nice. But yeah, in reality, it's been awesome. Like Drew said, we've reached out to a lot of veteran brands. We have absolutely no reason that they would get back to us. People we have no connection to. They don't know us from anyone else. But we just explained our mission. We explained what we wanted to do, that we wanted to elevate veteran brands, like Drew was saying. But consumers, I think, if given the opportunity, will want to shop veteran. The problem is that there's no real easy way to do it, because usually when someone goes to shop for something, they're looking for a particular thing. Maybe they want a hat, like your drive-on hat there. Maybe they want that cool flag on the wall or something like that. They want a piece of art. They want something to hang on the wall, but they don't know. So they either go to some sort of online shopping. They do a Google search if they're trying to find something kind of generic and they're not really sure what it is. Maybe they go to their local businesses and stuff. But this rate, what we're hoping to do is not just to be able to provide an online place for people to be able to discover and shop for specific items, but really to connect, someone that's interested in supporting veteran brands, that maybe they live in Tacoma, Washington, but maybe there's something that they would really love by this guy down in Tampa, Florida, right? Or this woman that is starting her own coffee business over in Illinois. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it really easy both for the veteran and for the consumer. And so that's been really cool. We've been working hard at doing that. Lots of twists, lots of turns, like anything else. And don't let Drew fool you. He was also a grunt, so don't let him go and sit over there on his high horse trying to make you think that he was like some computer technician, or he was working
signals
Intel or anything like that.
I think that actually just makes the story even better, because you got two grunts putting their head together and you got one brain between the two of you, and you still
right.
figure something
If
out.
that.
And I'm saying this from a place of love, because I was a grunt too, and so I know exactly what some of the other grunts are out there thinking to themselves, and they're probably getting a good laugh at all of our expenses. So
well, the nice thing about being a grunt is sometimes you're just too dumb to know that you can't accomplish something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what if we created an online marketplace with one-stop shopping experience where all these different veteran brands were in one place? How hard could it be? And so we were like, well, we're too dumb to think that it's not achievable, so let's just go ahead and do it anyway. And so
when you want to
it might
put this
have
out
been
there,
to our benefit.
Yeah, when should we launch it? I don't know, like in a few weeks or something, I guess.
Right, exactly. And so you go, you put your head together and you figure it out and you just do it,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to somebody else who, might be doubting themselves, like, you know what, I don't think this thing
You
is
can
really
say
gonna.
no to anything, or you can just try it. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah. Well, we've like a running joke between us is like, what's the worst that they can say? You're already not doing business with them, or you already don't know how to build a website, or you're already not doing this thing, and because you already don't know how to do it. So the worst case scenario, right, is that you stay where you currently are. You're not going backwards. Like,
Right.
I cold call, some brand to ask them about being on the platform or pitch them the concept. They can't take money from me, right?
Right.
They're already not selling on the site. So, I mean,
Yeah, worst case scenario is they say no, and you've lost the 30 seconds to hit an email or whatever, or pick up the phone and call them, and
Right.
like, it's not that big of a deal. So so let's talk about the process for veterans to get their business in this marketplace, to get listed. I know, as a business owner myself, I'd be interested in getting my products in front of as many people as possible, and so a marketplace like this, I think, is a great way to do that. And I know a lot of veteran-owned businesses, they're smaller shops. They maybe don't want an ongoing administrative burden or any kind of hassle like that. So what options do you have for the businesses that are out there who are looking to get listed in a marketplace like this?
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to start with. Usually we've got a little link at the top of our homepage where they can click, and it pulls up an email. You message us. We do our due diligence. We make sure that it is a veteran-owned company, that they're selling products, and maybe not. We can't do anything with service companies right now. We have had a few reach out, but unfortunately, we just don't have the capacity to be able to create like a large yellow pages essentially for veteran brands. That would be a great cause, but it's just not in our bandwidth right now. So then that's where Drew usually takes over, and he takes care of all the onboarding. He makes it really, really easy for you. So I'll let Drew kind of address that element of it.
Yeah. So they reach out to us, and we verify who they are. Veteran-owned business. Get to know them, and we ask for some sort of proof of service, whether it's your ID card or a 214 or a boot camp photo or whatever it is, but just some proof of life. And once we and so far that's been pretty manageable, because the majority of people that are on the platform are people we've reached out to directly, or they come directly from referrals. It's like if you had a buddy who fit the bill and wanted to be on there, we'd probably still ask them the same questions, but there's trust involved, right? So yeah, we find time. I mean, the whole process takes, once the person wants to move forward, we've screened and they've asked all the questions that, that they want to know about, and they feel good with everything. The actual process, the clicks of moving forward, it takes about 10 minutes to set up. So it's really fast. And once they're live on the site, we review their products, we publish products. If we need to make, any changes or, any tweaks or anything like that to the listings to make them show up better, we'll do that on our end. We get them set up in our automated payout system, and the flow is really simple. I mean, the shopper puts their different things in their cart, obviously, just like Amazon, not concerned with, who owns them or where they're coming from. None of that even matters to the front end. They check out, calculated shipping rate, they do all that. And then the merchants on the back end. So we'll see the order come in, we'll take payment for it. The orders go out to the merchants that are, associated with that order, and they fulfill it. As soon as they hit fulfill and they print their label, their payment, their take of the payment is automatically routed out to them. It's a beautiful system. So we don't have to hold inventory. The merchant doesn't have to send us a bunch of inventory. Any listing changes that they make on their website are automatically reflected in the marketplace. It's just the best possible scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool
Nick.
integrations that when you were talking about, you're asking us about setting up and stuff. A lot of different people build their websites in different ways. Many of the different websites builders out there, from Shopify to Squarespace to Square to Etsy to WooCommerce to whatever it is that you've got, we've got ways on helping you to be able to like upload your inventory from your existing place. Some are easier than others, but we've got ways to make it less cumbersome. If you're just starting from scratch, it's a little bit more difficult. You've got to basically create at least a what's called a CSV file, which is Excel spreadsheet. So just be able to give us your information so that we can integrate you into our system. But it's a pretty we've got a nice little integrated system that makes it easy for the vendor, and they come onto site, and we can get those on there without too much of a headache. For the merchants starting their own business on there, or just adding this as a separate sales channel.
Yeah, and that's a great peace of mind, knowing that it's not going to add this administrative thing where you have to sync your products and make sure that your inventory is updated on your website and then on this marketplace and all that stuff. So it's all going to just kind of flow together. And I know, like what I was kind of alluding to earlier, is as a business owner myself, the last thing I want to do is have to remember to go and manually update something on some other marketplace. And that might be something that I do for a period of time, but then eventually, as orders are coming in and I start getting busier, I'm probably going to forget, and I'm not going to end up doing that, and it would just make the whole system fall apart. But by having this automated system set up already, it just makes life that much easier. And I wanted to highlight that point because I know for me as a business owner, that would be an important thing that I would want to know about. And for the listeners who are out there who might be business owners looking to get involved with this, I think that they would also appreciate knowing just how easy it is to get everything set up on the administrative side. It really doesn't take that much to do, and it's kind of like a one and done type of thing.
Yeah, it really is. Whether it's automated or manual, it's about a 10-minute process. If it's manual right now, it's manual for us. So we get the spreadsheet and we take it from there, so it's even faster. But yeah, even with the full automation, and then you never have to come back to the seller portal if you don't want to, unless you need to change your payout info or your street address or something like that. But yeah.
And so how do the businesses get the order notification on their end? Is it just like an email going to them, or what are they getting on their end?
Yeah, they'll get an email notification saying, hey, you sold something on Apex, or however it's formatted. They'll also get one from their own. They get that globally, and then if they have another e-commerce platform they're using, depending on the integration that we use, depending on the integration that we use, it'll show up in their order feed as well. So the most popular e-commerce platforms out there, we can do that with. Some of the smaller ones, the integration will it brings inventory in, but managing orders, you have to go to the seller portal. But that's a small, I mean, I think we're looking at like 1% of, 1% of sellers right now are even dealing with that scenario. So the majority of sellers that are on the platform are getting their orders back in their own native order feed. They manage and fulfill it right there. Because of how the integration works, we know when they click fulfill, and that automatically triggers their payout. So yeah, to answer your question, they do get an email notification from the marketplace, and then their own native e-com will also notify them of an order.
And that's a great thing too, is it just kind of fits in their natural, their normal
it's not a different place.
Workflow.
Yeah, it's not a different list. It's all just right there. The order number will be like A dash or Apex dash, so but
yeah, and the payouts too, it being that quick payout process. As soon as they hit fulfill, they're getting paid. So I know a lot of small businesses, they might be bootstrapping, and they maybe are relying on that cash flow, and they don't maybe necessarily want to wait a month to get paid from a marketplace type thing. But getting that payout right away is huge, and I think that's a great benefit as well to using this kind of marketplace.
Yeah, and they'll usually get it within a few days, just because the amount of time it takes for the bank to transfer the money, but it gets initiated immediately. So yeah, they're not going to have those long lead times where they don't have the positive cash flow, so they're not worried about having to buy new inventory. Well, or having to pay for supply, or having to do whatever it is they need to do, keep the roof over their heads, keep the lights on. We don't want to hinder that in any way whatsoever. We just want to make sure that they can do business as usual, and hopefully help them grow and become more well known. I mean, that's really the goal.
Right.
Yeah. Scott, to piggyback off that, I mean, we don't charge any setup fees or upfront account fees. There's no monthly thing that you have to pay for. So it'll take 10 minutes of your life to get it set up, and if you never sell a thing, it'll never cost you a thing. And the cash flow was a really important thing. One thing about made to order stuff I want to hit on too. So we have a lot of people that make custom wood flags or whatever it is. Things that are made to order, they don't wait to get paid on fulfillment. They get paid when we get paid. We have a small delay. So I think we built in a 5-day delay, but it's basically configured at the point of purchase instead of the point of fulfillment. 5-day delay and then an auto payout. And it benefits in a couple of ways. One, the delay is because maybe the customer, bought it by accident, right? And 1 or 2 day delay, they might not see the charge on the credit card yet. So we wanted to have enough of a lag in there to where they can catch it and cancel it if they need to before somebody starts making some physical thing for them. And then also 5 days we found is not a concern to the custom makers, because they're usually running 2 to 3 week lead times anyway. So after 5 days, it's unlikely that they've even started working on your order. And they're getting paid. They're getting paid before the work starts. So especially for some of the smaller shops, that aren't going to be fronting the cost on the material. So if the order's paid, then they can actually go fund and build the thing that you bought. And you also, and just to kind of repeat myself, I guess, that, the customer should have enough time in 5 business days to realize that they bought a $400 grenade table, custom made grenade side table or a wood flag or something, and that, oh crap, I need to go address this.
Right. Yeah. And that's good too for the customers. I think peace of mind knowing that they have that ability to cancel the order if they, realize that they were drinking too much and bought us, a $400 table or something, and they're like, "What the hell is this?"
All sales are final. Your account is closed.
So I mean that peace of mind is great to know too, and I think the customers who are going out to support the veterans, they have good intentions in mind anyways, and they want to go out, they probably want the products anyways, but they want to help support the veterans, and knowing that there's that peace of mind, it just makes it that much better for them. And what are some of the challenges that maybe a veteran-owned business will face, and how does this marketplace help address those challenges in terms of getting new customers and things along those lines?
Yeah, so Drew and I, this isn't our first foray into entrepreneurship. We started the insole company, and while it's not the biggest or the most alluring type of business necessarily, it's not apparel, it's not a coffee company that a lot of veteran brands you kind of like start to associate with now. Some of the biggest things, I mean, the biggest thing I would say, once you've gotten everything in place, is letting people know that you exist, right? And so, that requires a marketing budget. That requires an idea on how to market. You have to make graphics. You have to make video content. You have to make photo content. You have to know how to target your audience. You have to do all these different things. And maybe you just know how to make something really cool. Maybe you know how to make that grenade table that Drew was talking about. Maybe you know how to make a custom wood flag. Maybe you've got a cool design that you put on a shirt, but you don't know how to find me that would be interested in buying that shirt. And so what putting yourself on a platform like this, as well as having your own platform, it offers us to be able to showcase your product alongside similar products so that you can stand and be recognized. We're doing our own marketing efforts that's targeting people that are interested in searching for veteran businesses. The nice thing about it is, like, we have a whole array of veteran companies on there. We have 50 veteran brands on there right now. We're going to be we're growing all the time. Every week we're gaining new veteran brands. The more we grow, the more brands we get on there, the more interesting it'll be for a consumer interested in being on like searching for a veteran owned product. They're going to be able to go on there, they're going to be able to search, and they're able to find you, and as opposed to a Google search, or maybe you're lucky enough for in Durham, North Carolina, for you've got a shop on Main Street and somebody walks by, or you just so happen to have hit in somebody's social media feed. But that's very unlikely. It's very difficult. And so, back to Drew's rising tide raises all boats analogy. We've got big brands, we have small brands, we have medium brands, we have wood flags, we have apparel, we have coffee, we have all sorts of things, beef jerky and outdoor camping equipment, all that kind of stuff. And by having that kind of like vast array of products, by having a lot of different types of brands, it's going to grow and it's going to allow them to gain some sort of exposure, especially if they stand unique amongst those. But if nothing else, it's a place that they can be found. It's a place that, Google search, if you don't understand search engine optimization, if you don't understand, how to get your numbers up and all this kind of stuff, I mean, good luck finding yourself on there. It's been a task for us in the past. I mean, so this is not coming from a place where like we know best and this is the place, but it's just that's a really difficult thing for small businesses, especially not coming from that background. And Drew and I have learned the hard way, are continuing to learn, are continuing to do what we can to better be able to represent the veteran brands and our brand. Obviously, we care about our brand. We want it to be reflected positively, and we want people to come and shop there. And so that's what I'd say is the biggest thing, especially for new entrepreneurs, but really anyone. It doesn't hurt to be on there, but it can definitely help to be on there. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, firsthand, driving traffic is difficult. Digital marketing is its own career path. I mean, if you're a woodworker or a leather worker, or you're making beef jerky or whatever it is you like to do, I mean, your head's down 10 hours a day doing that. When you have time to not only do another job but learn another profession. So that's really the challenge, and that's the value that we bring to the table with the marketplace. As a grunt, I can confidently say that sticky side down on brown box in the mail. Like, I got, the value we're bringing isn't the fulfillment, right? I mean, most people can, and they're doing it already. I mean, the people that are on the platform, it's not their first day in business. They've been shipping online for a while. So packing boxes, slapping labels, it's not the value we bring. The value we bring is driving traffic and driving sales. And so we do a lot of paid advertising, like Nick said, a lot of cross promotional stuff, collaboration stuff with the big brands. And that's something we tell them when we onboard them. There's a lot of reasons why we want, Combat Flip Flops or Virtus Outdoor Group or whoever it is on there. And it's not because it's not just because we want to sell their stuff on the platform. It's also because we know that the traffic they bring to the site helps us secure our mission, which is elevating veteran brands. And the promise that we give to the smaller ones is that we are going to increase, if you can just trust me a little bit, get in here, let me take, probably half an hour of your life to, sell you on the idea and then actually get you to do the clicks. And to put yourself out there a little bit and do that, then the promise in exchange is that we're going to increase your traffic, increase your sales, help you build your brand. And, we're doing other things in the background, in addition to just having a place for them to sell, in addition to driving traffic. But there's logistical and supply chain things that we're working on, where if you're a small business and you're not sure of your future, maybe it's the quality of the products you're getting, or the cost, or the availability. This Veteran Network has been so amazing, where we've got a lot of wholesale relationships as well, distributors, printers, co-packers, and things. So if you're a brand and you are facing those challenges, barriers to growth, we're not fully out there yet on this angle, but the next big angle is making kind of that back end opportunity available. So whether it's printing shirts or bagging coffee or whatever, that we've got the right partners in place that you can trust, that can produce at scale, give you the service that you're looking for as their customer, and take your business to the next level and overcome those obstacles to growth.
Yeah,
and the nice thing about that is that
tool
network is also a veteran.
Yeah,
sorry, I was just going to say, just to piggyback on that network that we've got is not just you've got vertical integration of veterans. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
So maybe you might not be as a consumer, you're buying a shirt from a veteran, but they may have gotten that done from a printing company that was also a veteran. So that's just another way that we can try to grow and pull together the veteran community, and so that's been really, really awesome as well.
Yeah, there's a whole back end economy here that we're trying to raise and develop and feed. So
yeah, I mean that's a great benefit to offer. I know trying to source products and trying to figure out who's going to come up with the best quality product for the best price and all that kind of stuff is it could be daunting task for someone to do. And when you have someone who's like, hey, you know what, we trust these people, they're also vets, they can help you out with whatever the services that you're looking for, or the products, that's just icing on the cake to using this type of marketplace. I really think that's really great, and I think those are real challenges that real businesses are facing, and by having this available to them just makes a whole lot of sense. But also, this episode is we're recording this a little bit a few weeks before it's actually going to air, but this episode will be airing right around the Christmas shopping season, and there's a lot of shopping going on. And so if you're looking to support veteran-owned businesses for your Christmas shopping or your holiday shopping season, I mean, check out Apex Gear Company and check out their marketplace with all the great veteran-owned companies that are out there and all the veteran-made products that they have to offer. It's a great one-stop shop, and you can get all of your shopping done in one place.
Yeah, absolutely. I would recommend the Grenade silicone ice trays, personally. Stocking stuffer.
That's great.
No, but we do have a lot of awesome gift ideas on there. That's one of the cool things that a lot of veteran business makers, they're entrepreneurs. I mean, and it's not all like uber masculine. While we do have a lot of cool like ammo crate and wood flag type stuff, there's candle companies, we have aromatherapy, there's really like nice women's clothing, shoes. There's all sorts of stuff across the gambit. There's just really a lot of opportunities. So it is, it does cater towards a lot of military themed things, but at the same time, there's stuff that if you were to look at it and you didn't know it was on a veteran entrepreneur site, you didn't know that you were at Apex Gear Company. If you saw it somewhere else, you'd have absolutely no clue. We've got bar soap, we've got men's grooming, women's grooming, beard care, all this kind of stuff. And, the product catalog is going to grow. And so there's a lot of really, really cool gift ideas in there for people. I know that ever since we started bringing a lot of these brands on board, Drew and I were click. I guess these is just gonna like fill my house, and
Oh
load
yeah,
up my own personal credit cards.
that's the rub here is like you start getting you're exposing yourself too to like all these things you've never seen, ever heard of. And I mean, there's companies making nail polish and makeup, and I mean, we've got sauces and rubs and all. You just, man,
Mhm.
the diversity of the categories, it's just wild. But yeah, whether it's stocking stuffers or really nice, bigger ticket items. I think people are really going to find some special things on Apex that you're not going to see in other marketplaces. You're going to feel good about your purchase, definitely, but it'll give you an opportunity to find something that's very, very unique and special. Things you're not going to find at Target or whatever. I mean, really cool stuff. So yeah, for gift giving season, especially Christmas and stuff like that, definitely encourage you to go browse the catalog, check out the website, and we don't think you'll be disappointed. So
Yeah, and for all the guys who are listening, and I know there's some guys out there who are listening who don't have a clue what to get for their lady for Christmas, and I know I'm probably one of them who's going to be checking out the veteran marketplace here. There's tons of stuff like you guys were just talking about, all the candles and soaps and everything else that, I mean, you can't go wrong with some of these things. So, go out there, grab some of this great veteran made stuff, and feel, like you said, feel good about supporting a veteran owned company, and also getting the products that are high quality products and stuff that people will actually enjoy.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's been a pleasure speaking with both of you today, Drew and Nick. It really has been. I'm really enjoy talking about this marketplace, and I could talk business all day. But where can people go to get in touch with you, find out more about the company and how to get involved with the marketplace?
Sure. Go to apexgearcompany.com. That is the veteran marketplace. So that's how you can find us. You can there's contact us stuff, which will reach directly out to us. And I know one of the big things about your podcast is reaching out to people that are going to be getting out soon, that are looking for that mission and stuff. So if you're thinking about starting your own business, if you've got a cool idea for a product and stuff, reach out to Drew and I. We'll see if we can do anything to help you along the way. As a young entrepreneur, as a veteran entrepreneur, there's options for you. You can get your business up and going without having to invest like tens of thousands of dollars in a storefront. We can help you, give you some insight, and when you're ready to come onto the marketplace, you've got a place that you can showcase your products that won't cost you anything unless you sell it. So it can be we can grow this veteran community of entrepreneurs together.
Yeah, get started selling online without having to know how to get started selling online. Yeah. So you can also DM us on any of the social media platforms that are linked on our website. We're at Apex Gear Company on Instagram and Facebook, and on Twitter now. Yeah.
But Instagram's the easiest.
Yeah, IG's the easiest for us. But yeah, just message us there, contact us through the website, whatever you want to do. And if you've got an idea you want to discuss and need help getting started, we're here for you. We're always available, and we'll have a place for you. So.
Sounds great. And I will have links to all of this in the show notes. So anyone who might have missed it, you're driving in the car, don't get in an accident trying to write this stuff down. It'll all be in the show notes for you later. And you can click through, get in touch with Drew and Nick, and get your business up and running on their marketplace. Sounds like a great way to do it. And really wishing you both the most success you could possibly have with this. I think by you being successful, it's going to make other veterans successful, and that's the name of the game here. So let's definitely help you guys out and get people shopping on the marketplace. Thanks again.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
Thanks for listening to the Drive On Podcast. If you want to check out more episodes or learn more about the show, you can visit our website, driveonpodcast.com. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Drive On Podcast.